And I like the perspective from which you guys are coming from, the representation of the Nigerian Muslims. And which day do you publish your podcast?
After Jummah, Friday, 3 p.m.
Off after Jummah,
Yeah.
Friday after Jummah. Good.
Yeah.
I like that. Right. Okay. I'm
Cool.
ready, and you're ready.
Mood is not picking up his phone, so I don't know. Maybe he's back in the rehabilitation center or something. So we'll start with this now. It feels strange doing this on the Zoom, but Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, people. We are back with, what's this, episode 10?
10.
Episode 10
Yeah.
of Jollof After Jummah podcast. It's just the three of us today. However, we're joined with a special guest who's much beloved, very beloved to us. We have our teacher, our uncle. I'll just give him his proper introduction. Our uncle Taofeeq AbdusSalam, our Ustadh. His goal in his missionary activities is to help you achieve the understanding of Islam from the authentic text faster and easier than you ever imagined. With over 20 years of experience of preaching and propagating Islam, he has helped many Muslims, including youths and families, to understand the religion from practical viewpoints. He studied Islam and Quran with 6 different teachers from Nigeria and benefited immensely from Sheikh Aminullah Ibrahim. May Allah have mercy on him. As part of his efforts via his charitable programs, he consults for the UK government, the London Muslim Centre in Whitechapel, the London Central Mosque in Baker Street on youth development, religious extremism and public relations as it affects Muslims in the UK. He has been instrumental in reviewing the UK anti-terrorism laws and was part of the team who lobbied the government to make changes that benefited the UK Muslims. He has been featured in various national TV channels, including BBC, Sky News, and Al Jazeera on Islam and the Muslims in the UK. He conducts Friday khutbah sermons in various UK prison locations as well as universities. Professionally, he's a qualified accountant, mashallah, and a fellow of the Association of Certified Chartered Accountants, the ACCA. He holds an MSc in accounting from UCL and an MBA from an American business school. He currently works as a, mashallah, you can tell he's a very qualified man because I'm still talking. He currently works as a consultant in IT business architecture, analysis and design, as well as agile strategic leadership. He runs his own accounting practice in London as well, inshallah. He teaches authentic leadership to executive students at the University of Warwick in Coventry. And just to disappoint some people, he's happily married with children and resides in
Disappoint some people.
I won't say that, I don't know. But so just in case people didn't grasp that, we have, to us, he is simply Uncle Taofeeq. And alhamdulillah, we're delighted to have you on here. So
I'm so glad to be with you guys. Mashallah. Assalamu alaikum.
So first of all, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you guys doing as well?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
All good. Ibrahim, good?
Locked in our houses.
Mashallah.
Nice chair, Uncle. GT Racing, yeah?
I know, Uncle.
Yeah, you know, the boys advised me together, you know.
I didn't know you're a racer, Uncle. I didn't know.
There's a massage stuff in there. You know, working from home, it's you know, your back is gonna be aching if you don't have a massage chair like this. So I try to maintain the balance. You know, the sitting at home. We've been working from home since March this year, isn't it? It's a long time now, subhanallah. So when you work from home like that, you want to make sure that you're not sitting all day and you can stretch your legs. And I have another one in another room, actually, like a desk that I can stand without sitting, right? But this one support the back and support the neck as well. That's why I got it.
I think you're too young for back pain anyway.
Of course, yeah.
And Ibs and Dullah, how are you guys?
Alhamdulillah, all is good, man. All is good. Can't complain. Ibs?
I'm calm, man. I don't know, I'm mad tired today, even though I finished work like a bit early, but I'm just tired.
Are you always tired?
Yeah.
But it is
just come from work.
No, I finished work very, very early today. Just so tired.
For him, he doesn't really, he works maybe 2-3 hours a day.
No, the thing is that
you can tell on his face. His face is just shining. It doesn't look like someone.
That's why it's glowing.
in those couple of hours, I work hard. Don't get twisted. I'm not just playing those hours.
Ibrahim, to be honest, you don't really look like someone just came from work with the freshness and the
freshness.
I've been at home for a few hours, but yeah.
Oil in your beard. Mashallah. You knew that we're gonna be recording on camera today, so I know you came looking. He's even blushing.
Why do you think my do-rag is on?
Mine is on as well. I didn't want Uncle to see what's underneath. So.
Yeah, do you have dreadlocks under there? What do you have?
No comment.
No. Dreadlocks. Within the hair. All those, I don't make any comment on that. You know?
So you're a fan?
You need to let the guys do whatever. As long as you keep them clean, you know? And it's not rough. It doesn't look like the Peckham Boys one. That's Peckham Boys. So
I'm in Peckham right now.
Yeah. So
the one
you see it Peckham Boys. I mean, Peckham has changed actually. In those days, in like 15 years ago, the way we see it is Brixton, Peckham, you know, what is attributed to that area, even though that is changing now through a lot of effort. But as long as it's clean and it's, you maintain that appearance that's clean, we don't have, there are guys who embraced Islam from the Caribbean, you know, background, and they weave their hair. Some of the guys, they maintain the same level of the hair. They do big afro, right? And that afro is black and they tweet it in a way that looks like braids and all that. As long as it's clean and it's at the same level, the front is not like low to the back is not like low, and the side is not shaved off, and the front one that looks like a lizard. Yeah. It's not like that one, you know?
Like a lizard,
so
yeah.
It's not like that one. It's rhyme and it's clean. Thumb up, guys. You know, do it, you know?
Okay.
So
maybe
that's allowed as long as those conditions are there. But I'm not talking about the one, it's got a big one in the front and it shaves the side.
No.
You know, so it's same level, Afro big, it's tweeted, it's whatever. You can design it the way you want to design it. You know, just keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Keep it moving, yeah.
Good.
In fact, before we move on, I wanted to just quickly pay a tribute to our Imam, Sheikh Noreen Muhammad Sadiq, just quickly before. Terribly sad news.
Yes.
That we heard this week that he was he's answered the call of Allah. What the reason I wanted to mention this one is because especially being from our motherland, from Africa, and be having such a beautiful grasp of the Quran, and somebody that's able to give people that love and that connection with the Quran, that is a special gift. And we pray Allah kind of accepts it from him.
I mean,
as active ibadah, and grants him the highest level of Jannah for Firdaus. Because I was even listening just before, like maybe about an hour ago, I was listening some recitations throughout Zumrah, I think I was listening to, and you could you see the crowd that's listening to him, just the way that he's able to allow the Quran to enter people's hearts. It's a special talent. I don't know if Uncle has anything to add.
MashaAllah, beautiful Sheikh. May Allah Ta'ala have mercy upon him. His tone when he's reciting, his tajweed, maintaining that tajweed with the tonation. You know, some of us that would learn Quran in Nigeria with different tonation, the Markasi voice, the Adabi voice, we can relate to the Sheikh voices when he's reciting from the Sudanese local dialects, and without breaking the ahkam of tajweed. You know what I'm saying? So that you could see someone like, you know, when we go to Nigeria, when we meet some of our shuyukh, we recite Quran in that voice. The one that is popular, school of thought that's popular, is the Markazi voice that you see our big Ustadh Ibrahim Yahya, the way he recites in his recording. And you see some of my lectures as well. I do those recitation as well, because the way we learn from in Ilorin, you have to be able to recite Quran that way anyway, because that's the local traditional way of reciting. But as long as you recite with the Tertil Ahkam, you know, it will be beautiful. Your younger ones, my children in Nigeria right now, they are learning something like that right now in Nigeria.
Is it all of them that are there?
Yeah, everyone is down in Nigeria now, alhamdulillah.
And is that's a non-negotiable, yeah? Children have to be have to go through the school in Nigeria?
Or you have to learn those there, you have to learn those. If you're learning Quran in Nigeria, you have to learn those dialects as well. So you can relate with people when they recite the Quran. So the Imam is leading you and is reciting with Markabi voice. You can relate with it, Allah obviously on the Sheikh.
I mean, it's something we spoke about on the pod before.
Yeah, I was actually as well.
Or Ibrahim, because the Mebel days, is part of their rite of passage that all of them must go and do their boarding school in Nigeria. And for me and Abdullah, we haven't had such an experience, and we've discussed on the podcast before how whether we think it's important that our children or we bring our children and go back to Nigeria. And I think there's been some different views. But what would you say, Uncle? Like, do you think that
Ibrahim, were you in Nigeria at the point in time, Ibrahim?
Yeah, I was in boarding school for a year when I was about 13.
Where did you go?
I went to a school in Ibadan called TAS College.
That's good.
Yeah.
So the Akinpejis, they went to Ibadan as well.
Yeah.
Right. So why should you go to Nigeria? Why? Why should you not? Why? So
especially Nigeria today, because Nigeria today is.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Nigeria today Nigeria of political instability, Nigeria of ENDSARS, Nigeria of kidnapping, with big ransom, millions of naira to pay. How secure is Nigeria of today for parents to take their children back to Nigeria? And what are the benefit of going back to Nigeria? Right? So we Nigerians, we know we are very traditional people. What we want to do is we want to not have a situation where we are only in England, in the UK, without having any traces back to Nigeria. It's not compulsory for anyone to do that. If a family can raise their children in this country and raise them with the Nigerian culture here, it is still possible. Unfortunately, some of us, we are working professionals. We don't have that opportunity. And the environment tells more. There's a great philosopher called George Bernard Shaw. Is that his name? Did I pronounce his name well?
I haven't heard of him.
It says,
yeah.
One beautiful word. And what he said, it's not the consciousness of a man that determines his social existence. It is rather the social existence that determines his consciousness. The meaning of that is, if you live among the poor, even if you're born into wealth, there's a probability that poverty will creep into your mindset. And if you live among the rich, even if you're poor, there's a probability you might be acting like as if you were rich. Right. The environment in which you grow up, they have a major impact, direct correlation to your behavior, to your thinking, to the way you talk, the way you work, the way you see things. And those things are key elements of our development, okay? And every one of us has that in us. We have the dad and mom inside us. There's a psychology or evidence against that. We have the environmental, evidence in us. The way we grow up, the environment in which we grow up. So one key benefit, if you ask me, Uncle, why did you take your children to Nigeria? It's because I just want them to have what we call the Nigerian experience. And the Nigerian experience is an opportunity that ties into an average Nigerian as a story of survival. I admire, okay? An average Nigerian or average child who grows up in Nigeria has a story of, I survived, I struggled, I did this and that. As compared to in England, when dad and mom already provided everything. There's no difficulty, okay? Now, they go there, they see poverty. They see, even though they don't live in poverty, but they see that around them. What happens at that time is it gives them the opportunity to appreciate what they have here. That's number one, okay? Key point. Number 2 point is the primary education in Nigeria, whether you like it or not, for Ibrahim that you went to private school, is stronger, okay? Some parents want their children to go to private school in Nigeria and gain scholarship into grammar schools or private schools in England. And that's really, really a formula that is working as well. Number 3 is they want those children to also be able to mix up, to grow up with big family experience. So for example, your younger ones, Abdullah, Al-Harith and Ibrahim, they were in a granddad's place somewhere one day in our town. And it was a weekend and they were going to eat breakfast, and the breakfast was going to be egg and yam, right? The popular Nigerian egg, right? And the people who were coming to the kitchen were bringing crates of egg, crates of egg, and Al-Harith was counting 1 crate, 2nd crate, 3rd crate, 4th crate, and so I was like, how many crates of egg are we eating? How many people? So when it got into the dining hall, you saw that there was a massive causing number of people in there. And he couldn't believe that those are his member of family. He doesn't know he has hundreds of cousins and nephews, and so that sense of family belonging as well, right? That sense of, this is the family, uncles, aunties, and the celebration of family in Nigeria is not comparable to what I call the isolated life that we live in England. Everybody live by themselves in this country. So that interaction is not so there. And there are many, many, many other benefits. Okay. Having said that, when a child goes to Nigeria and is able to learn, is not in an environment where he's not able to learn those things. He will bring those back in here. And we know that his hunger for success will skyrocket, because you're seeing the opposite side to the enjoyment and the luxury of provision that we have in this country, right? And they had gone to Africa, where you're seeing people surviving different orders, right? Surviving under hard conditions, surviving when there's no electricity, seeing children hawking on the streets. I remember very well, even my son, 10-year-old boy, in Ikoyi in Lagos, I was driving, and there was another 10-year-old boy who was selling handkerchief in the traffic. And that boy was begging, and this is a real life story, guys, and I want you to listen attentively. Real life. And he was begging, please buy from me. And it was raining outside while we were sitting in a big, massive luxury car, and the boys were in there. And then I rolled that down and I called the boy, and he gave me the handkerchief. So I had money, in Nigeria, we have bail of money. Yeah. So then I handed that money, I think the money was like 20,000. So there was a lot of money for that boy. And then he collected that money and he was like, for me, this, for me. He was surprised. He couldn't believe that money was for him. And then the boy was crying because of the money. I didn't collect the handkerchief. I just gave him the money. And then he was crying. I never know. I became very emotional. And the kids have never seen me do like that before. So the lesson to them that day was like, and I could see, I think Abdullah was patching me at the back, was like that. I was like, guys, that guy and you, there is no difference. 10-year-old, I asked for his age, 10-year-old Ibrahim. That boy and you is 10 years old, you're 10 years old. There is no difference. The only difference is you had an opportunity that he didn't have. Does that make sense? I am sure anyone who listened to this story, that story will be with them for the rest of their life. Do you not agree?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's one benefit. Yeah. When they come back here, they will be able to appreciate that actually all the games we have in the house, all the clean house and all the nice, IKEA duvet and the beds and all that, they are actually luxury. Somebody provided them so they can appreciate it more. And I hope that is a nutshell of the benefit of going to another environment to see how people live so that you can appreciate what you have, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it simple. Let's keep it moving.
I just ask you guys, how long have your children been in Nigeria?
So they were 18 months in Cairo, right? And in Cairo, they were living in a local place where they did their hifd of the Quran for 18 months. Now they've been in Nigeria for a year and a half.
Hifd is memorize it. We like, in case for the non-Muslim, we like to give the translation as well. So just memorize.
Yeah. So when they were memorizing the Quran, and now they are in Nigeria for the past year and a half, and inshallah, I think another 1 year, Abdullah and Al-Harith will be coming back, and the rest of the guys will still be there for another 2 years, and they will come back to school here. Yeah. So hopefully you guys can arrange a welcoming party for the boys.
Not out of the house.
Yeah. Actually, I had one question. I don't know. I think what sometimes we tend to see is that with some people that they don't always grasp those kind of lessons.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just turns out that they come back and they're even worse than before they went.
I'm thinking of
so I don't know. Yeah. So do you think that you need maybe a certain level of maturity to grasp those kind of lessons, or what do you think?
Maturity is the design of the program, the experience by the parents. The parent needs to design what the kids will be doing for every day of their life in Nigeria so they don't waste that time. right? As you said, many kids. So some people say, oh, I want them to go to Nigeria so they can speak Yoruba. But they put them in schools. I mean, the schools that your younger ones are attending in Nigeria, they are private schools, fine. But in those schools, we selected those of them where the culture is high, right? So I don't want to mention them so that I'm not marketing those schools, but those schools are international schools, all right? However, the school teachers, the Yoruba teacher in that school doesn't speak one single English. He doesn't. In fact, if you want to call him, you don't call him Mr. You call him Ogbeni, meaning you have to speak correct Yoruba to him. Do you understand? So those are the...
Not Bernie. He's a Bernie.
Ogbeni is Mr.
Benny.
Benny.
Alec, just
I feel like you need to learn. You need to learn some Yoruba now, you know. Ogbeni is Mr. in Yoruba language, you know. So, as you said, Ibrahim, you're right. When the parents do not design this thing properly, right, those kids will just go and waste time. They don't have the interaction with the families that they're meant to. So I have a farm. I run a farm, right? Your younger ones will go to my farm on a Friday. They sleep over in the farm with no electricity. They do horse riding on a Saturday. They work with the farm workers throughout the Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So there are local things they do. They cook with the firewood in there. Actually, they enjoy the horse riding, right? So there's a locality element in there. As you all know, I only live in England for years, right? I don't beat down on my traditions and in my cultural identity, right? Even though yes, we can relate at any level to whichever environment we find ourselves. Well, alhamdulillah. However, that identity of who you are, of your roots, is not lost. And I think that's the key thing there. If you go to Nigeria, you can relate with people who do not even know how to speak Yoruba, as Ibrahim, just said. Some people don't even know how to speak Yoruba within Nigeria. So what's the benefit of taking a child to that environment then? So I would say, depending on what the parents' goals and objectives are, they should be clear from day one what they want those kids to go learn. Okay. And another thing they are learning in Nigeria is the Quran recitation in the voice that, subhanAllah, if you watch those guys who are winning the Quran competition in Dubai, and so in that kind of voice, so which is a little bit technical, tajweed. Okay, that's another benefit, and you can learn that easily in Nigeria, inshallah. Even though now we are creating an online Quran school called the Dina School, where we're going to bring those teachers for people to learn online, inshallah.
We're not gonna skip that one. We're gonna talk about that one in a bit, inshallah.
Definitely.
While we're on Nigeria, even from what you said, it sounds like it's me that needs to go before I even think about kids. It's me that needs to go. I know everyone's thinking the same thing. It's me that needs to go to Nigeria, man, because I want to ride the horses as well, man.
Don't worry. Just let me know anytime anyone wants to go to Nigeria. You come to the house. The house is big, so you come to Lagos. If you want to travel, we can send you with security to the remote farm area. You definitely enjoy it,
Perfect.
Abdullah, next summer, Abdullah, yeah?
Inshallah.
sorry.
Next summer.
Inshallah.
Yeah, plan. Let me know. I go to Nigeria every month.
We'll call you and
yeah, let me know. I go to Nigeria every month. I didn't go this November because of the lockdown, but I'm going in December. So I go every month to Nigeria. So I'm in and out all the time. So if you guys let me know.
You was meant to be there this week.
I told you, right? I told you when you called, I was meant to go, and then lockdown happened, and I didn't want to risk some things due to the nature of my work. So I'll be there in December, inshallah. But New Year, every month I'll be in Nigeria. So if you let me know, we can plan something out. Yeah.
On the topic, I don't know. Yeah, on the topic, this is a somber topic now in Nigeria. When I spoke to you before, one of the things that's very pertinent in this day and age, and it's something that we've mentioned on the podcast, but we haven't really wanted to delve too deep into it because we didn't want to kind of not speak out of turn. But when it comes to these emotive topics that are going to cause a lot of kind of disruption in people's heart, you don't want to talk without solid foundation of knowledge supporting it. So in terms of, obviously, we've had, alhamdulillah, even I think, or I don't know if it's that they're not reporting it as much or if it actually has calmed down, but it seems that things have maybe settled a bit. So maybe this is even a good time to talk about it when emotions aren't as raised.
As before, yeah.
Yeah, but the protesting that's been going on in Nigeria because of what started off with the SARS unit of the police, and obviously what's transpired from there with all the protesting, the vandalism of buildings, etc., and the alleged killing of innocent protesters by the government officials and the army, etc. Just on that, I think the first thing I wanted to kind of ask, just as a basic question, is in terms of from an Islamic point of view, when we see such things transpiring, so when I talk about corruption of the government, and which can even be to the point of killing and abuse and assault, etc., from a Muslim perspective, just like how should those, let's speak about for those that are in the situation, how should people act? As a simple question.
I mean, see,
I know it's
ENDSARS,
more complicated than that.
ENDSARS or SARS protest in Nigeria, it's not it shouldn't be discussed only on religious platform. Okay, it's a general thing that relates to not just Muslims, Christians, or traditionalists in Nigeria. The ENDSARS protest, I mean, we can give our view from the perspective of Muslims. Okay, what does Islam say about protest? We can start off from there.
Yeah.
But I am of interest to say, this is not only a religious conversation. It's political in most of the time. It's a social discussion that everyone should have a voice into, okay? Now, as Muslims, especially the youth, are we allowed to protest? What sort of protest are we allowed to do? Okay? I mean, there's no evidence to show that we're not allowed to protest at all. But the type of protest we're allowed to do are the ones that are, number one, highly non-destructive, that we must ensure it doesn't lead to what Islam has come to protect. The Khamsatu Dururiyya. One of the things Islam has come to protect is the blood of a man, right? If there's knowledge. Underline the word, if there's knowledge, because there are Muslims today, they don't have knowledge. Boko Haram doesn't have knowledge. The Al-Qaeda people don't have knowledge. The Khawarij, they kill people. But we know that Islam has come to protect the blood of people, whether they are Muslims or they're not Muslims. Now, if anything is going to lead to the shedding of that blood, that thing becomes haram. The path that leads to shedding blood becomes what? Haram automatically. Okay, so Islam has come to protect the blood of people. How do you think the same religion will support anything that will lead to the shedding of the blood? So it doesn't make sense. And that's why Imam Ahmad rahimahullah was saying, ad-dima, 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 the blood. As long as you know that the protest you're doing is not going to lead to fight and, that would kill people and shed people's blood, that protest is the peaceful one. Yes, that's allowed. But there are modalities to do that. The ones who's going to organize those protests must ensure that, there's a way that people would carry themselves in hands and they will walk peacefully and there's no problem. But the problem is, how can you ensure that in Nigeria, where the protest started by some celebrities, Uncle Femi Fala's son, what's his name? Faz, the rapper. He was part of them. Yeah. I know the father, right? The father was an activist, but he wasn't an aggressive person. It wasn't a violent person. And I have respect for Uncle Femi Falana. Uncle Wole Soyinka, Professor Wole Soyinka, they were activists. My uncle, Dr. DJ Akintola of good memory, they were close friends with Uncle Wole Soyinka. They would come to Ile-Ife together. So I respect these guys. They were not Muslims, but I respect them, all right? They were not violent people. They used to do protests, okay? Now, when they start that protest, there were people that had political moves to disrupt the political landscape of Nigeria. The opposition to the current government, they sponsored that with billions of naira to go and cause chaos. And there's poverty in Nigeria, right? So people can easily give money to people to go and cause trouble. And that's what happened. So there's a difference between protest, riot, and what's another word we can use? There's another word.
Looting.
Somebody. So protest is normal protest. Riot is, becomes a little bit more agitated and more, crazy in a way. So you could see that during that time when they were protesting, there were people that were ignorant that joined the protest and turned it into something else. There were poor people that were actually looking to loot. There's looting as well.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to remember. Did you not see videos of people looting warehouse of people who are marketers, who are sellers? They were going into their warehouse to steal. Are you going to call that protest as well? So we understand that the SARS as an institution or as an establishment under the Nigerian government, they were committing a lot of crime. I witnessed it myself. I was in Nigeria late last year. So every Christmas I'm in Nigeria, right? I think it was last year. So we shipped some cars. I run a small car rental business in Nigeria called kaporacars.com, right? And I shipped some new cars to Nigeria. And when those cars arrived, there was one small BMW, and I liked that car. But that car wasn't registered at the moment, but it's got all the shipping paper. And I've got my license. I've got all the legality to drive the car. Then I drove the car. But because the car was a brand new car, between Lekki and Ajawa Estate when I was driving the car, do you know how many SARS stopped me on the way, collecting money from me? And then I got to the level, because I think it was maybe 7th of them. Then I lost my patience. I'm like, why? Why? Because I'm driving a car. You have to collect money. Then I got upset. And the guy was like, okay, let him go. Why must they do that? Even if I want to give charity to the police, and we do that all the time. When you go to Nigeria, one of the key things is you have to have money in your pocket just to give sadaqah. We are Muslims, we give charity, right? But not the type of charity that this guy make you feel bad giving. If you don't give them, they make you even feel bad as if you owe them something. So they were committing crimes. The SARS guys were committing crime. They were forcing people to pay them money. They were committing a lot of crimes, okay? And in that case, the people that started the riot, they were right to say, no, this must end. The only thing that wasn't right is the number of people that died. The number of people that died. Yoruba people will say, meaning it is the family who lost something that will know the pain. If those people that died, one of them was your brother or your sister or your father or your mother, then you won't be shouting, dancing on the floor. No, you won't. You will be in sorrow. And that's what we're saying. And from the point of view of Islam, وَمَا قَتَلَ نَفْسًا, whoever kills one soul, فَكَأَنَّمَا قَتَلَ النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. It is as if that person has killed the entire mankind. Guys, come on, get that. Let's keep it simple. وَمَنْ أَحْيَاهَا, and whoever saves one soul, فَكَأَنَّمَا أَحْيَاهَا النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا. It's as if that person has saved entire mankind. So killing one soul in our way of life is big sin. It's a kabir min al-kabair. We don't want to be associated with anyone, either protest, government, or religious, who thinks about killing one person. Killing one person is the second biggest sin in our way of life, to kill a soul or to shed the blood of an innocent person. The protest that leads to killing of people, the bloodshed, we ain't gonna be part of it. That is the religious view, okay? Let's keep it simple right now, guys. Let's remove the art and think maybe we're not Muslims. We just want to talk about the political, social being, what's going on in Nigeria.
Yes.
Then we need to think about the frustration of Nigerian people. They are frustrated. The youth are unemployed. The percentage, the majority of the larger population, part of the population of Nigeria, they are youth. They are between the age of 14 and 25. More than 65% of that economy is youthful population. And in that case, when they are not employed, what do you think would happen? There will be increase in crime. Okay? So I work with the unit in this country before I resigned 4 or 5 years ago. It's called the African Crime Unit under the FSA. Okay? I used to be the vice chairman of that unit in this country. I know the number of crimes that the African guys committed through the internet, the Yahoo boys, the big boys internet, right? The Osh puppies and all them, you know what I'm saying? Like those guys, you meet them in Dubai.
It's his cousins.
You'll be feeling like you're a failure on your CV, like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? I attended the wedding of one of the celebrity singers because the brother is my friend in Dubai. I don't want to mention her name, but she's a popular Afrobeat singer in Nigeria. And she did the wedding in Dubai. And then we were in the hotel. You see the people, the way those guys were spraying dollars. I'm not talking about fake dollars, real dollars. They were putting in a shotgun. They were spraying it. I couldn't believe they were spraying dollars. So I went there. I went to the stage to pick one to see. And I had dollars in my wallet. So
Just
I picked it to check with mine to see that is it correct? And it's correct.
How many more did you take after that, Uncle?
You know what? You know what?
How many more samples?
You know why, guys? You know, in Nigeria, when we do parties, we spray money and all those, right? Yeah. We had the dollars in our wallet, like we're going to, when they're praying, we're going to spend some money. But when we saw this Yahoo boys coming to spray, we just moved back, JJ. We can't
spend the money.
It's not my day today,
You know what I'm saying? So the reality is, before those guys got to that level, there's level of frustrations, there's level of unemployment, there's level of police brutality, there's level of EFCC arresting innocent guys among them and asking them for bribe to get away with it. So I know a few guys who were arrested by those units. So there's no justice. There's only jungle justice in Africa. And I think those things are the things that led to those frustrations. If that answers your question, let me pause here so you can ask more questions, guys.
It's more that, because I think when people obviously do like hair, you can't, don't get involved, you shouldn't get involved. The first thing they'll say is, yeah, it's easy for you to say. I think, we saw in the chat that it's easy for the people that are not there to say. So I think often what people want is, if I can't protest, I feel that desire that I need to do something. So what do I do? What's my alternative?
Okay, good. What do you do if you can't protest? What do you do? We are in the age of information. We're in the information age. The guys who gathered, thousands of people to protest, you can gather thousands of people to lobby. There are institutions in Africa that can work. Okay, there is every city. In this country, if you come from Nigeria, your name is Ade something. If you trace it correctly, you'll find out that you're a prince. If you want to define it, because you're from a royal family. And then you see almost all the Ade, they're all princes. And then the next thing that will come into your head is, oh, are they real princes like Prince Charles and, But no, every town in Nigeria, every town has a king. If it doesn't have a king, it will have a Bale, a mini king, right? Those kings, they have access to the politicians, especially the state governors, okay? One solution that I give to the protesters, instead of them turning the protests into riot that will lead to the loss of life, is lobby through those kings. There are rich men in Nigeria. There are politicians in Nigeria that you can lobby through. There are, for each constituency, okay, for each area of your local government area, there's a politician who is heading it. Go take those people responsible. Instead of destroying other people's property, instead of looting the iyalojist warehouses, instead of, killing people on the street, go to the houses, to the offices of the senators. Request you want to see the senator. Protest at the senatorial level. Go to the palaces of the kings. Make sure you get that king accountable. It's a traditional leader. Get the kings involved. And today, thank God, we have some kings that are even, very dynamic. Where my mom is from in Ile-Ife, she's a chief. She's an Iyalode in Ile-Ife. The king, the current king in Ile-Ife is a young, educated, way forward, progressive, positive-minded guy. And hats off to that guy, man. The king of Ile-Ife, the Oni of Ife. Hats off to him. He is dynamic. My mother is a chief under him. All right? That king, progressive. He's going to listen to you. He's going to listen. I was just saying to my mom, when I come back to Ife, I want to go to him, book an appointment. I'm gonna buy him a gift. He doesn't need your gift, but it's a king to be celebrated. Even though it's not a Muslim, well, good, fine. But he's positive-minded guy. The Oni of Ife, right? So, and there are many kings like that as well. There's Elegushi, the guy that we meet all the time in Lagos. It's in parties, it's, those guys are powerful. Go to those kings. Even the ones that you think they won't listen to you, by the time you bombard their palace in a peaceful way, they will come out and address you. Use them, write a letter to them, use them to tell the governor or the president what you want done. The question that some people were watching this, or people that might be watching this podcast, will be like, oh, he's not living in Nigeria. He doesn't know. I live in Nigeria. I run businesses in Nigeria, all right? I was born in Nigeria, so I know what's going on in Nigeria. I have a lot of friends in politics in Nigeria, right? I have friends among the governors, the senators. I talk to them all the time, so I know what's going on. Don't tell me I don't know what's going on, right? So, and I go to Nigeria every month now. From January, I would be going every month. I didn't go this month, but because of the pandemic, fine, good. But I know what's going on. Every day I speak to people in Nigeria, so I know the scores. We can achieve a non-violent protest to make the government hear us in Nigeria without shedding the blood of people. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Does that wrap that up, guys? I think should we leave that on there?
Yeah. Keep it simple, keep it moving.
Keep it simple, keep it moving, boys.
All right, cool. Could just quickly before we, I don't know if this call is gonna cut out, but I just quickly, Omar, has anyone else got anything? Before I got a couple other things on. Just Uncle, in terms of like because obviously you know what we're talking about at the very start. We're talking about that kind of journey obviously we started this podcast to try and help people, especially those that are not really kind of into their faith, or that those who haven't really that iman is not really at the highest point. For just speaking from your own perspective, do you want to speak just about like your journey to Islam or journey with Islam within Islam? Because I think it
Brothers told me yesterday.
Yeah.
Brothers told me yesterday that you were I think something on the lines of a pastor before. I didn't know this.
Who told you that?
Who told you?
Just in case it's wrong, I won't put anyone under the firing line. But it's one of the brothers.
Whoever told you is probably my inner Kakos boy, like someone who's close to me. Or you know what? Even when you guys were in those classes, in those days when we used to have classes in man, I used to mention some of them. Maybe you forgot.
Yeah.
But the point is, I was born into a Muslim home, but I went to a primary school under the sponsor of the church. I went to the
Okay, so you were born a Muslim, but you...
Yeah, but I lived with uncles and aunties and people who were Christians, not Muslims. Right? Okay. So I used to be in my primary school, actually, a very strong boy in the church. And, when I get to primary 5, I was enrolled in in Ife City Theology College, which is a Bible school. And I was there for 3 years studying the Bible, right?
I have a similar.
And during that time, I learned a lot in the Bible. I learned a lot. And to be honest with you, I would say, and I hold my appreciation to my pastor who, started me off with the religious understanding, right? Walakin Allah Ta'ala has plans for everyone, right? I used to be a member of the choir. The reason why I struggled with the hip-hop music in those days is because of the music from the choir. From the choir, we used to sing and play the instrumentals, and that led me to hip-hop and all that, And one of the most difficult things when we embraced the deen was, the hip-hops, when you open the car, you're driving the Benz and you got two, and then that thing comes into you, you're like, oh, what's that, And that's the reality, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that you guys can relate, right?
100%.
So the love for music came from the church, not from the mosque, right? And I remember in those days, my music selection, when I have what I call the Islam phase. I have Jahiliyyah phase 1, that was when I was a Christian. I had Jahiliyyah phase 2, that was when I became a Muslim, but I was still doing things that are not halal, and then the final phase of Islam. Huh? So yes, there were times that I spent in the church. When I became a Muslim as well, there were times I spent with the Ahlul Bidah. The people that first introduced me to Islam were people that are very busy with metaphysics. Juju. You know what the juju is? Hmm? So I used to have the
Yes.
7 belts. Yeah, I used to have the 7 belts here. I used to have the 7 belts on my waist, Bante, all those type of metaphysics, Kurafat and Kufru. And then that went on and on. And then I used to deal with other afars who taught me, tira, get shaking, all those haram stuff. Before I met my sheikh that you mentioned, Sheikh Aminullah Ibrahim, rahimahullah, who taught me the sunnah. And he was the one that helped me, guided my thinking to living those haram thing off the deen before the understanding of dawah now came. So my knowledge of dawah and how to do the dawah when the university in Nigeria came through the teachings that I learned from Sheikh Aminullah Ibrahim. May Allah Ta'ala forgive and have mercy on him and his wife in their grave and expand their grave. Make us benefit that will be to spread in the dawah, give them the reward of that. So that's my journey in a nutshell, because I don't want to bore you with that. Like if we are speaking on this platform to guys who maybe they're struggling on the path, right? Maybe they're Muslims already, they're struggling. Why do people struggle in this environment? Why do guys struggle here? They don't struggle because they go to church. They struggle because of the environmental distractions, right? I see Muslim boys who embraced Islam in this country. They still want to go to the clubs, you know what I'm saying? They still want to go drink khamr. They still want to, get the girls off the street. They still want to do drugs. They still want to, all those kind of things. That's still what they still want to do. Like a solution to that is, wakunuma sadiqin, surround yourself with the right-minded guys. Because what that does to you is it wastes your time in your life and make you regret when you spend majority of the time on the street. Whereas we have people, I was speaking to a guy who used to be with the Bible record labels in America. He was in prison and he came back. Loon of the, Napoleon. He used to rap with P. Diddy and Notorious B.I.G. in those days. Well, alhamdulillah, this guy, mashallah, tabarakallah, is a Muslim. Anyone who know Napoleon used to be with the outlaws of Tupac in those days. Napoleon is in Riyadh at the moment. Good guy. He's, the only way you can know is maybe with the tattoos on his body, huh? My friend Abu Sama Ad-Dhahabi, of Greenland, Birmingham. He used to be on the street with Janet Jackson, Mike Tyson, and all those guys. Grew up in Philly with those guys. Let him come to the house, allowed it to be like, he's the sheikh, right? But he's got tattoo on his body. Oh, he's got tattoo in the Jahiliyyah days, huh? So everybody leaves that. The wise guys leave that. Because what's the benefit in a guy who's drugging himself and is going to go mad and it's not going to be able to do anything useful to his life? What's the benefit in that? It is stupidity. People don't just know. What's the benefit in spending the 9 Leicester Square and then you're hungry and you're hanging over and you're throwing up the next day? It's affecting your health. It's not gonna. What's the benefit in the guy going with 1,000 women, wasting all his life, is sharing all his time among girls, the time that is meant to be thinking about successful projects in his head? He's spreading all. So there's a boy, Yomi, Muslim boy. He wasted all his time when we were in PwC in those days. You can see him come to the work with white shirt and lipsticks all over his white shirt. Today, his younger brother is the one feeding him. SubhanAllah. Because he spent all those days chasing around with women. So these are the things that we're saying to people. And the one who is doing something that's stupid, or someone who is doing something that's below the yardstick, he might not know until someone, guide him right. He might not know. The one who is doing something wrong might not know that what he's doing is wrong until he finds someone who knows, who has the knowledge of what he's doing, and say, hey, you know what? You're going to get lost there. And that's the opportunity for you who is watching or you was watching. And you have the shubuhat and doubts in your iman. You have the shubuhat and doubts in your way of life. Or you're watching. You have the shubuhat about the way of life that you do in a secret way. Come back. Ta'alaw ila khair. Come back with the boys who are doing the same thing you're doing, right? Because among your group, it doesn't mean that you don't chill out. It doesn't mean you don't go on holidays. It doesn't mean you don't go hiking. It doesn't mean you don't drive out to eat in a restaurant. It doesn't mean you don't enjoy yourself. You do. We do enjoy ourselves. We go on beautiful holidays if you want to. It's not, nothing haram in there. But we know the aspects. We know the boundaries. Instead of chilling with many girls, pick a girl and marry that girl. And he was introducing me and he was saying, he's happily married. Well, if I want to marry second and third and fourth, I'm allowed to.
Don't go to that one, yeah. Don't make them turn off.
That one, so that all your wives at home will not delete my numbers on your phone. Huh?
I'll be down.
All right, guys. Let's stop it there, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. But quickly, can I give you one more? That I want it's a quick scenario that people were talking about. I was talking about this with some of the other brothers that I would mention, and there was difference of opinion. And the question was, and it's relevant to what you said, imagine you have a brother who is part of his problem, like you said, is that the women is his problem. That's his fitna, his big fitna, that he wants to kind of become more practicing, embrace the deen more. But let's say he has a woman there, and this woman, let's say she's not Muslim.
They're pulling him.
And
I know what's going on.
So I think the difference of opinion was that one opinion was that why should this person marry this woman? Let's say that she's not Muslim, and maybe the kids won't be Muslim, and that comes with some problems that we can get to. Or is it wise to say then marry this woman, make it halal, and then that's your biggest issue gone? Or is it better that you tell him leave this woman because this woman is part of what's making you within living in sin, because committing sin, etc., etc. But the thing is about this solution is obviously it leaves this man open to the fact that he's a man who loves women. You can give him Islam, but he loves women. So
those type of scenario, please do not put it under the carpet, guys. We're living in a way that, because I am in the service of the community, you know that, right? You know that for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen too much scenarios that this type of issue right now, we bring it to the fore. We talk about it openly. No shyness. Let's talk about it, because it's affecting people's life anyway. Not just guys, also girls as well. Girls. Right. So I've got a lot of girls that I'm mentoring, coaching, guiding into the proper way of life. And as you know, we do matchmaking, right? So we marry people off to one another to make sure that they have someone they can chill out with in a halal way, right? The guy who's the women's guy, there are many of guys like that actually, right? Alhamdulillah. And the advice you want to give him is you want to make him settle down with a woman. If a woman is not enough, do not make it haram for him. You don't want to talk about it, to marry second. So I've got a friend, look, man, he was a DJ in Brixton, Caribbean brother, right? The only place that he doesn't have tattoo on is his face. He was a bad boy on the street DJ. Everyone feared him. He used to do all sort of drugs and all sort of stuff. Today, his name is Lukman. They used to know him as Cow in those days. Poisonous cow, they call it. Poisonous. Right? He must be a bad boy for people to refer to him as a poisonous guy. He was of a gang, big gang. Everywhere he is, police are parading the place. Well, alhamdulillah. Today, that guy can't kill a fly. He surrendered to Allah. He married the first wife, girlfriend from the day. She embraced Islam with her. Muntakibaliyo, that girl. They have kids together. In fact, we were on one Umrah together. He married the second from the Jahiliyyah lane as well. Another. He has 4 wives today. Well, alhamdulillah, Allah has increased his wealth as well. He's now a leading solicitor in this country. A leading DJ boy, business guy, a leading solicitor. So, what advice do we have for that guy? Keep it simple for him. Anyone who doesn't know how to manage that, you got my number. Call me between 5 and 10 p.m. That's when I talk to people every week on issues like this. Between 5 and 10 p.m., let that person call me. If he doesn't have my number, let him follow I think I have a new Taofeeq AbdusSalam Instagram. Let him follow that Instagram. On that Friday between 5 and 10, I'm checking that Instagram. People are asking me questions. I think I have a few followers on there right now. And I find that easier than Facebook, because that you see the message coming through immediately. So I put my phone down and then I can guide that guy into how he can move. I will spend my time and my money on this, inshallah. Right? So let's not go deeper because these are sensitive issues affecting people's life. But if we have things like that, let's take off the line and see how we can help people. The only way you can help is to guide that person to the right way of where they will get the help that they require.
Sure.
Right?
Also, people, if you're looking for a spouse,
You're cracking.
So I can hear you, Abdullah. What did you say?
you have a matchmaking service. So for the people that are looking for a spouse, if you need assistance,
We've been doing that for a
Taofeeq is
long
here.
time, yeah, we've been doing that for a long time. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Is Ibrahim married now or not?
Boy.
Ibrahim?
Is it sticky around still?
Uncle, that's an offline conversation. It's offline.
I'm not.
Oh, it's confidential. Yeah, that's confidential. So we don't open Ibrahim into. Because if I say Ibrahim is not married, right, and I'm sure some of the girls will just bang my foot up.
Isn't he?
Ibrahim, probably you need to be wearing the niqab to cover this your fine boy face. Huh?
What are you saying, Ibs? Should we cut this out, Ibs?
Stop.
We'll leave it there. Uncle, Jazakallah here for coming. I'll let Ibrahim thank you. Since you sorted them out just now.
Thank you for coming on today. I mean, I think everybody can benefit from what you spend your time talking to us about today. So Jazakallah khair. May Allah continue to reward you and your family and increase you in knowledge and wisdom. Yeah, so I guess that's episode 10.
We'll be back. That's just the debut.
You
have to be taking it on us.
No worries, guys.
Make sure we're not deviating too much.
Call me anytime, inshallah. I'm happy for what you guys are doing. I thought I saw a picture of 4 of you. Where's the 4th guy?
The 4th is Mahmoud.
Yeah, Mahmoud.
I think
Who's that?
Mahmoud. I don't.
Oh yeah. Okay, right. Okay, all right. Good. Okay, inshallah ta'ala, we'll keep in touch, guys, and don't be MIA, don't be missing in action. And then inshallah, we'll keep in touch, keep it moving, keep it simple. Huh?
Simple.
Barakallahu feek.
Cool. We'll definitely have you on again, inshallah.
Inshallah. Let me know, no problem. Let me know, no problem, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Man, I think because yeah, man. Let's just cut off the thing, fam. People, thank you for listening. Episode 10. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you benefited. We're gonna put Uncle's details
keep it simple, keep it moving
in the description. Make sure if you haven't followed Jollof After Jummah on Insta, tell a friend and share the pod. Whether this one's gonna be on YouTube or not, we'll see, innit? I don't know. If you by the time you've heard this, you'll know the answer, inshallah. But yeah, man, obviously that's the first Zoom episode. Let us know what you think, because obviously it's new to us. We're gonna try to keep giving you the content, inshallah. Yeah, man.
Also, give us feedback. Let us know what you thought of this episode. This one was a bit of a
yeah, it was different.
An eye opener.
Beneficial as well.
Thought we would come and give you
Yeah,
Mac is moving mad, bro.
Yeah,
my Mac's moving mad still.
Yeah,
I
think you have to speak anyway. I don't want to do editing in it, so let's just leave it there because I can't bother. Alright, cool. Yeah, we done?
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Love you, man.